I never drink soda, but I have what feels like possible migraine starting. So I try this with Excedrin as my first line of defense. If it doesn't work, then I break down and take my medication. So today we are talking about mediumship development. So you are thinking about mediumship development. You feel like you're being pulled towards mediumship development. What do you do next? Where do I turn? How do I develop as a medium? And first off, we need to differentiate the difference between learning to communicate with our own loved ones on the other side versus mediumship development, which I covered in the beginning of a recent video, which I'll link up here, about can we communicate with our own loved ones on the other side, which the answer is yes, of course. We can learn to communicate with our own loved ones on the other side, absolutely. And doing so does not mean we need to go down the road of mediumship development. Doing so is not the same as mediumship development. Mediumship development is learning to, training to, essentially schooling for, becoming a vessel, a conduit, a cell phone, if you will, for other people's loved ones, becoming a conduit for grief support, for evidential communication between the physical realm and the spiritual realm, for people who you do not know, for spirits who you do not know, and humans who you do not know. That is what mediumship development is. So, how do we engage in mediumship development? What do we do if we decide we want to go about mediumship development? The natural answer for most people when they're feeling the tug, when they've made the decision, whichever the case may be, would be to turn to the internet. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why you're watching me now, you've turned to the internet. Either you're a past client of mine or you've stumbled upon this video, right? So that's wonderful. Absolutely turn to the internet if you are looking to go down the road of mediumship development. That is absolutely one of the steps. However, I want to warn you that you need to be incredibly discretionary when you do so. And I'm not going to tell you what to believe or think or who to listen to. However, I'm going to tell you that you need to go internal and listen to your own intuition. And if what you are hearing from somebody or what you are feeling from somebody, aka a teacher, a mentor, a content creator within the spiritual space, makes you feel not pleasant, that is for a reason. That is your intuition calling you. So be aware of that. You also need to decide what you believe is truth and not allow somebody else to tell you otherwise. Not allow somebody else to dictate their truth as your truth. If you decide that the spiritual realm, for example, is love, is void of ego, is void of pain, is void of evil. If that is what you believe intuitively in your soul, and you stumble across videos on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, and they're from a teacher who is incredibly fear-based, don't let that turn you, because those teachings, those words are coming from external to you, are coming from outside of you. And your soul, your knowing, what you are working with, yourself, your identity, who you are, your soul, which is what you engage with in mediumship to begin with, right? Soul to soul communication is internal. Always turn inward. Whenever in doubt, whenever feeling fear, whenever you're feeling unsure of who to listen to on the internet, always go internal and feel. Feel into, is this right for me? Is this person right for me? Are their teachings, or what they're saying, does this resonate? Does it feel good to me? Does it feel right to me? Does it feel aligned with me? And the feeling you get will be your answer. Always go internal. Do not let external teachings, external words turn you or change you, who you are, what you know on the inside. And I tell you this because you are going to, when you turn to the internet as a part of your mediumship development, find that there were a lot of, I feel like there were a lot of people who, during COVID especially, who jumped online very untrained and started doing this work and teaching this work from a very biased perspective, a very untrained perspective, a very fear-based perspective. It's almost like COVID happened, the lockdowns happened, job losses happened, people being kept in their homes and boredom happened, and the rise of TikTok and sort of all of its idiosyncrasies and strangeness happened, and all of those things together led to this outburst within the spiritual working community of different areas of teaching that really don't logistically align with what we know of energy to be scientifically true, and what is typically has been historically taught for centuries within spiritual, like the spiritual realm, within psychic mediumship. Things have taken a left turn, and you need to be really careful because of these reasons, not literally taking a left turn, but with what you can find online, taking a left turn. So you need to be careful regarding who you listen to, in my opinion. It's your journey, your decision, right? To decide who you resonate with and what schools of thought you resonate with. But there are a lot of red flags out there, and be careful. The other aspect is it's very important from an ethical standpoint with mediumship development to always ensure you are aligning yourself with evidence-based mediumship. Always. So if you're exploring spirituality, that's one thing. However, if you're exploring psychic mediumship development, you always want to make sure that you are aligning yourself with evidence-based teaching. Otherwise, it is not going to be true mediumship development. And by evidence-based teaching, I mean you are exploring developing as a medium who seeks to receive evidence from the spirit realm that they can then give to what is called the sitter or the client. So within mediumship development, the term sitter means the person that is being read. So the living person that is being connected to spirit for. So say you are in mediumship development and you are doing a practice reading. The person who you are reading you're going to hear the term sitter. They are referred to as the sitter. You as a psychic medium need to be developing in mediumship with an evidential framework, meaning you need to be able to provide the sitter with evidence of their loved one's continuation of life beyond death, meaning their loved one in spirit needs to be able to provide you with information about themselves, about their life, about things that they have seen going on since their death that you could not have obtained in any other way besides communicating with them from the spirit realm. That is evidence-based mediumship, and it is ethically imperative that you develop as a psychic medium from an evidential standpoint. That is a hard stop for me. That is not something that I feel should be a free-form opinion or something that I can tell you need to make up your own mind on. That from somebody who is in the profession and doesn't want to see the profession take a larger left turn that I've seen it take on social media, we need to make sure that evidence is in mediumship. So make sure that that is a word that you are searching for within a teacher's work, within a teacher's writing, speaking, social media presence, or wherever you are finding somebody on the internet. Regardless of whatever their other beliefs are or what you decide you resonate with, evidence should be included in their teachings for certain. That is definitely a hard stop. So, okay, so I've done research on the internet, Mary. What now? I can only watch so many YouTube videos or, stalk so many Instagrams, whatever the case may be. Now what? So there's this, and people who sell classes, myself included. I don't currently teach a mediumship development course. I have done them in the past. I might begin doing them again in the future. As of the filming of this video, I do not currently offer one. Keep an eye out. Maybe I will at some point in 2023. I haven't taught one since, I don't remember when the last one was. Maybe like 9 months ago or so was my last one. But much to the chagrin of people who currently offer them, there is a underground avenue of Facebook that I would like to tell you guys about. And again, you have to use discretion, but I always point people who would love to develop as mediums to this underground avenue of Facebook, because if you type in mediumship development into Facebook, you are going to pull up a wide variety of mediumship development groups. And within those mediumship development groups, you are going to find groups that offer some teachers who actually work for free, who offer free development circles and free practice circles. And they are amazing, amazing resources. Again, you have to use discretion. Not all groups are going to be the same in quality. Not all teachers within groups are going to be the same in quality. But this is where I started, was Facebook. When I first discovered what was going on in my crazy head, I didn't know where to turn. I live in a little town. We have 8,000 people here. I have like no friends. I'll just throw that out there. Nobody to talk to. Like, what the hell do I do? Right? So I had Facebook. I didn't even have Instagram. I didn't really use YouTube. Basically, Facebook was it for me. That's like all I had. So I stumbled upon these Facebook groups. That's where I landed. So I started with these development circles, these practice circles, and I started being hooked up with teachers through these. And I did so many circles. I learned through circles. Now, the difference between a development circle and a practice circle. A development circle will be led. Let me just back up a minute. What's a circle? A circle is when a group of people who are trying to develop as mediums all come together on Zoom. Could be anywhere from 5 people to 30 people get together on Zoom, and they take turns doing practice readings on one another. Doing practice mediumship readings on one another. Sometimes the readings are, you read in front of a group and you bring in a random spirit person for the group, and somebody has to claim the spirit person. So that's like a gallery style of reading. Sometimes the circles are, you will be put into like a breakout room on Zoom, if you know what those are. So you'll be one-on-one with a person. You'll be broken out into groups one-on-one, and you read a person one-on-one as practice. Okay, so that's what circles are. They get their name from way back in the day when spiritualism and mediumship was sort of like more hidden practice behind closed doors. People used to get together at one another's homes, and they would literally sit in a circle in a living room, work with spirit. That's where they get their name. But now we do them on Zoom in modern times. So the difference between a development circle and a practice circle is a development circle will be led by a teacher who has experience. So they will actually have the ability to give you feedback on your reading, help give you direction, help you improve, or they won't always be giving you instruction. They won't always be helping you at every single development circle you go to, but they do have that capability if the need arises or if they so choose. Development circles also will occasionally give an exercise for the circle that day. So for example, a development circle, the person running the circle, since they're a teacher, they might say, well, today we're really going to work on feeling for the spirit person's occupation, or we're going to work on our clairsentience today, and we're going to try to work with our clairsentience as much as possible, which is clear feeling, or any other number of activities. This is in comparison to a practice circle. A practice circle is when a group of developing mediums get together just solely for practice, and whoever organized the practice section is who leads it, but they're not a teacher. So they're just kind of roll calling on people. They just simply organize the meeting and that's it, right? So there's no, oh, I would suggest that next time you try this or try feeling deeper into this. There's no really teaching leadership role, so to speak. So when I was developing, I was like circle crazy. I was doing like 15 circles a week, or I don't even know. It might have even been more than that. I was doing so many circles because in my opinion, you can learn from as many humans as you choose. You could learn from, Tony Stockwell or some of the best teachers in the world within the mediumship community. But nobody is going to be a better teacher than spirit, because everybody works differently, and spirit has their own language, their own way of working with each individual medium. And spirit, in my opinion, is your absolute best teacher. So I cannot stress the importance of circle attendance enough. Circles are amazing. I love circles for everybody. Go to as many as you possibly can when you're developing. I cannot recommend them enough. Okay. And there are other places you can find circles, of course, beyond Facebook, but that is where I recommend sending people. Most circles there are free. Some will be $5 up to like $15. There are some people who will charge for circles. I did pay for circles in the beginning as well. Once I found teachers that I really resonated with, I would pay for circles here and there if I really enjoyed the teacher. You'll find that as well. When you really resonate with somebody and they are selling a class, or they are selling training, or they are selling a circle, you have to understand that their time is valuable. Their time is energy. And if somebody is doing mediumship or energy work as their profession, they have to charge. Because if they are not charging for the class, for the training, for the circle, they could be doing something else that they could be charging for. So they need to be charging. So if you come across somebody who is charging, that is why. And if they are worth learning from, if you are being drawn to them for a reason, absolutely pay for training as well. You should not expect to develop absolutely free. I did not develop absolutely free. I don't know of anybody that developed absolutely free. So just know that you can start out with free development, but meaning through Facebook, like I'm recommending, but you cannot expect to continue with free development all the way through. In terms of timelines, it is going to be different for everybody. I cannot tell you a timeline, but do not rush. Do not expect that you're going to go to circles for 3 months and be done. Absolutely not. Mediumship ebbs and flows. So you might be riding a really high for, the first month, and then you will fall on your face and crash. It will happen. Absolutely, it will happen. It happens to everybody. There are ebbs and flows in mediumship, and mediumship development absolutely takes time. So beyond circles, there are, like I said, classes, trainings, workshops. You can, outside of social media, you can turn to Google to search for teachers who offer workshops and classes as well. Social media, I need to go back to that though. It's a great way to find people that you resonate with, just because people put out so much content nowadays. And you can really glean personality and teaching style from social media. much more so than you can from a static website. But people will teach workshops. They'll teach 1-day, one-off workshops. They'll teach workshops that last, a couple of months and it's like once a week. Or people will teach self-paced workshops that you go at your own rate. Or people will have just, circles like I mentioned that you can find, professional working mediums that do these. So I would definitely recommend doing some of those in addition to obviously the circles that I mentioned. But it's important when you are seeking these paid opportunities that you really seek out mediums that you resonate with their style. I would definitely, like I said, check out their social media, check out not just their testimonials and reviews, but the way that they communicate and come across, and check in with how you feel internally with them to determine if you're drawn. Okay. Then there are mentorships. Mentorships are one-on-one, more in depth. Mentorships are exactly as they sound. They are where you meet, most likely virtually, unless you live near somebody or in a larger metropolitan area. You meet one-on-one with somebody and they guide you through their training program that they have geared towards you as an individual. So those will typically be higher ticket, higher priced training opportunities, but mentorships are also something that are available. Those are also something that you're going to want to vet by looking online, searching online, and really choosing your mentor carefully. So all in all, it all goes back to the internet and your discretion and checking in with your intuition. But this is not a race, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? And a lot of it comes back to checking in with yourself and really leaning into spirit. Leaning into spirit is of the utmost importance. There's also Arthur Findlay College, which is over in the UK, and that's essentially a literal college for psychic mediums. A lot of people don't know about it. I have never gone. I have never done anything through them. I know it used to be all in person. You would literally need to fly there and take classes and spend a week there. And you live on site or you get put in dorms and you go to mediumship class. But I do know that they have online stuff now too. So they have online opportunities. You can Google that if it's something you're interested in. There's also the Spiritualist Church of the UK. I'll have to double check that verbiage, but they offer classes as well. I'll see if I can find those resources. You can also do a lot of reading too. So there are tons of books out there, but just like the internet, you have to be discretionary with what you read as well. I've come across a few fear-based books, not many, but they are out there. So, and I've also come across techniques in books and just kind of basic schools of thought, which I bought into in the beginning of my development. And then as I got further into it, I realized, no, not it. So you have to be careful what you're drawn to. It's everybody's journey, right? Like I can't tell you what to believe. I'm just saying not every book out there is meant for every person. I can recommend a couple of books below that I have really enjoyed and that I resonate with. I can drop them in the description on Amazon that are available. So I did do quite a bit of reading as well as a part of my mediumship development process, just because when this entered my life, I was clueless. I had literally never meditated a day in my life. I knew nothing about energy. Energy what? Like, I didn't know what the chakra system was. I knew, like, you want to talk about clueless. It was me. I was the poster child. I knew nothing. So I definitely started reading as well. And that is definitely something I would recommend to people, especially reading about kind of the scientific side of what is happening, what is going on. That is something that I wish I had done sooner. That is something that I did later And if I had done it sooner, it would have really helped me get rid of some of the fear-based stuff that made its way into my awareness and into my kind of peripheral from sources and people and books that it shouldn't have. If I would have gotten more into the sciencey side, then earlier on, those things would have been squashed much earlier. So if that is something that you resonate with or you feel pulled towards learning more about that to help you with your development, definitely Google along those lines, or I can drop a book or two in the description that I feel like would help with that as well. But there are a ton of mediumship development books. That is about it. In terms of what I did, I really leaned the heaviest into circles and then into teachers that I resonated with. And it's important to not allow certain teachers to set you back, and that's why it's so important to choose your teachers carefully, because I've seen too many mediums who have said, I took this class or I took that class and I was feeling pretty good about my mediumship when I went into it, but their techniques, it was like I felt like I had to use their techniques, and I feel like I backpedaled in my mediumship and now things aren't as clear. They're not coming in as clearly as they had been. And it was because they were going in expansively, and then in the class they were feeling shoved into this little box by the techniques being taught or the frames of thought being taught, I guess. And so their expansiveness was being quelched, right? And as a result, they were being quelched and their mediumship was backpedaling. So you want to make sure that that's not happening. But at the same time, you want to make sure that your ego is being kept in check and you're being kept in check, and that you're not running before you can walk either. It's about balance. But I really suggest leaning into spirit and leaning into your intuition and evidence-based mediumship with teachers and mentors who you are drawn to, who you are intuitively drawn to through your own research online. If you have any questions, definitely drop a comment below. Like I said, I don't teach anything for mediumship development right now. I might in the future. Right now, what I offer is a workshop which is self-paced. It's always open for enrollment, which is for learning to connect and deepen relationship with your own loved ones in spirit. That is what I have available. I don't currently have mediumship development available, but if you have questions or comments, I'm available to answer them. Leave those below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like and subscribe. On this channel, I talk about spirit, mediumship, the afterlife, animal communication, and my passion, which is helping everyday people learn to communicate with their loved ones without the use of a psychic medium like me. Until next time, bye.